Yo guys, how's it going? Today should be an exciting video. I've been asked by Lycaon Board to review their new Lycaon GR, their long-range e-board. I'm a big fan of e-boards, or kind of, I'm like a big wannabe fan of e-boards. I've had a kind of dodgy history with e-boards, so I bought one that was 1K and it was awful. It was stiff as a board, the acceleration was on or off. The range was awful. I could ride it pretty much to work for like 4 kilometers and it'd be fine. Halfway back it would start to lose power and it would just be completely yucky. Also, I fell off it, like really embarrassingly. It wasn't painful, it was a really embarrassing one. I actually have a clip of it, you can have a look. So there you go, super embarrassing. What you can't see out of shot is all of my colleagues just about to be like, hey Alex, and bam, I hit that big rod, metal rod on the floor straight off. Anyway, today I am super pumped to be able to try out this Lycaon board, and Lycaon GR in fact. First things first guys, we need to do this properly. We need to get some coffee and then we need to go and get the board from the delivery room and then let's get it here on the table and have a look. Right, so here's the board. Give me 2 seconds. Right, that's what it looks like. Pretty dope. Nice looking deck there. It's 8-ply maple, so I hear. So that has a nice amount of flex. It's nice and stiff at the same time. It's not too flexible, but it is still flexible enough. I'm no expert, I'm no Daniel Kwan. I don't know, I couldn't really compare it to the flex of any other boards because I'm not really sure. But it's nice and flexy, but kind of feels stiff when you're standing on it as well. So I guess it's like not this end or this end, it's kind of in the middle. It's got nice, you know, like the classic skateboard grip tape on there. It feels kind of nice and grippy, kind of roughs up your knuckles when you do it. So you know you're not going to come off this board for any kind of reasons that it's too slippy on the deck. It is heavier than I would expect. I'm not really an e-boarder, so I don't know, but from what I guess, from what I've done my research online, that usually 7.6, 7.7 kilograms is around where a lot of them are. This is actually 8 kilograms, 8.6, but it has a lot more range than most of them. So for me, I think that's pretty good. So quick unboxing. In the package, you get the board, which is super nice, looks super cool. It's packed super well. There's lots of foam. It's all sat in one box inside another box in all this foam. It's definitely not getting damaged. It comes packed really lovely. Didn't want to show you me opening a cardboard box apart from the B-roll because I mean, who really wants to see that, right? So back to it, in the box you get the actual board itself. It's all assembled and ready to go. You get these two things. These are hub motor covers. The actual hub motor covers which are being used on there at the moment are solid black ones, so it fills the whole wheel in. If you're using it in a really hot environment, kind of like I'm using it here in China, I guess. I don't know if I would have any heat problems. I'm going to have to try it out to see this first, but you can use those ones, and they're kind of like, if you look at them, they're kind of spokey. So I guess the air can flow through into the motor more, but then that also, I guess, has a payoff that also dirt and other stuff can go in as well. So I'm going to leave it like it is for the minute. On top of that, you have the controller. The controller I'll go back into in a minute, but the controller is super nice, really lovely ergonomically designed thing, fits in your hand just lovely. You get this nice cheeky little LED red backlight that you can put around the back truck for if you're riding at nighttime. Perfect. You get a charger for the controller, although I have checked and the controller is already come fully charged. You get this T-tool, which is for your trucks and for the bolts which are on the board. You get an Allen key. You get this other tool type thing, which is like a very small, funny looking shaped Allen key and a screwdriver-y type thing. So I guess you can adjust everything while you're out and on the move. And last of all, you get this manual. So the manual just explains a few things which basically, I guess, are pretty straightforward. Like, as a man, I don't really feel I need to do that. I did check just briefly, but it's kind of like how to charge it, how to do this, how to do whatever. But basically, you know, I'm not gonna look at that too much. Right, so the remote here, check it out. Pretty straightforward, like I said, lovely, ergonomically designed, nice little wrist strap. On the top here, you've got accelerate and a little rocker. Like you push forward to accelerate, you pull back to brake. You have a direction switch here. This switches between forwards and backwards on the motor direction. You have the power button, pretty easy, turn it on. And then you have these other two buttons. One is a little gear icon. This is for cruise control mode. When you are going above 10 kilometers an hour, you can press and hold this and it will go into cruise control mode, and then you can just take your hands off. You don't need to worry about anything else, but as soon as you touch any of the other controls, it will drop off, kind of like when you have the one in your car. And then you have this button here. Now this button here selects your drive modes and your braking modes. There are 4 of each. If you press between here, 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 you hear that beeping. It beeps every time, which is kind of nice, so you know you're changing something if you don't want to look straight down at the screen while you're riding. The drive modes are low, medium, high, and high plus. They're getting faster and faster in speed. The high plus and the high are only different in the fact that the high plus accelerates to the top speed a lot quicker than the high mode. So that's very easy to change. Now the braking mode goes from B1 to B4, 4 being, as far as I know, I haven't tried it out yet, but 4 being the hardest braking and 1 being the softest braking. You change that the same way you do with the same button for changing the drive mode, except you hold back as if you're braking and then press it, and it will cycle through your braking modes instead. So all pretty straightforward. So a few technical specifications before we go out riding. This does 26 miles an hour top speed, which is 42 kilometers an hour. Wow, that seems pretty fast. The board, like I mentioned before, is 8-ply Canadian maple, so it's nice, good quality and flexible. It weighs 8.6 kilograms in total. So it has a range of 23 miles, which is 37 kilometers. So that is far. And that's why, although it is about a kilogram heavier than most of the other boards, it has a range which is considerably more. And my personal feelings is the difference between 7.6 kilograms and 8.6 kilograms. I mean, if you're really getting into weighing it, and I don't know, maybe it will make that a big difference, but you're going to be riding it most of the time, so you won't know. And the rest of the time, I mean, I don't see many people carry them like that. Like, from what I've gathered from Daniel Kwan, you can just tow them, like hold the front trucks and tow it. So the 1 kilogram difference doesn't make any difference to me personally, because it's heavy as heavy. 7.5 is almost, for me, just as heavy as 8.6, but the extra range does make a difference. So I would rather have the extra range. This board seems pretty dope. So it has 2 480 watt hub motors. Now a lot of other manufacturers quote as having like 1,000+ watt motors, and they're lying. Well, they're not kind of lying, but they're kind of distorting the truth. What it is that it's probably them quoting the Max.Power. The Max.Power of these, by the way, is 1,200 watts. So let's not mess about here. Let's just get straight out there and go and test this thing. More coffee and then out on the board. Right, I'm here at this park, it's just down the road from my house. I figured it's the best bet to test this board, you know, just without anybody getting in the way, straight on the streets. I thought it would be much easier just to come here because they got nice open roads that are pretty much traffic free, apart from some e-bikes, which are allowed to get people to get to the communities here, and people riding bikes, and this little like tour thing which they take. You can catch this little electric bus. It's kind of like a, I don't know, like a golf cart type thing. It houses a bunch of people that you can go from one side to the other. So at the minute the weather kind of sucks, so the dry time for today is like just for the next few hours. And I thought also, being at 6 o'clock in the morning, there'd be nobody here, but I can already see there's actually shitloads of people all riding around on their e-bikes already. Yeah, anyway, let's get going. So also guys, I forgot to mention that while I'm here, I'll be testing the range of the board as well as just having a mess about and play with it here. So I have a GPS app on my phone to measure, as well as the controller which has the distance you've gone on it, which is pretty useful. It's currently 6 o'clock in the morning, it's 27 degrees, and I weigh 90 kilograms, just for those nerds who need to work all that stuff out. Anyway, back to it. this is a cool place to test it, and so far so good. The braking, yeah, it's pretty good. I like the braking. It's not like on the board I had before where you just braked and you flew straight off. This is really easy to control. I've only had it on B1, the lowest of the braking ones so far, because I've only had it on like low and medium just while I'm getting used to the board. I guess the faster I go, the more I'll need to boost that braking thing up and kind of get used to it, I guess. Anyway, let's continue. So it's 8:30 in the morning. I've just taken a break to get a cheeky coffee because the Starbucks at one end of where I've been riding. I've done like 19 kilometers and the battery doesn't, it shows on the display, the battery isn't halfway down yet, so that's crazy. There are parts, because it's like up and over bridges and down parts, I have been kind of coasting on some parts of it, and I was going very, well, not super slowly, but I was going in medium mode. So when I was doing drone shots earlier, so that I could get the drone shot and it would, you know, just make it easier for doing those drone shots. I guess I've still got a hell of a lot more riding to do. The sun is picking up now. The sun is picking up really badly. I've got at least another 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours before the rain is supposed to hit. But yeah, who knows? I'm gonna quickly smash this coffee, have a little rest, and then just get back out there and get riding again.
There's no denying what we want. There's no denying what we want. Playing games, no. There's no denying what we want. There's no denying what we want. Playing games, no. There's no denying what we want. There's no denying what we want. Playing games, no. There's no denying what we want. There's no denying what we want.
Right, there you go. Right, so there you go, guys. What do you think? Overall, the board's super sweet. It's a super nice ride, super nice acceleration. The top speed feels great. It feels great and just nice and smooth to ride. It feels comfortable to ride. It's easy to operate. The remote is very easy to get the braking and the acceleration just right. It's no on or off like the horrible, crappy board I had before. The range, I got like 33.4 kilometers out of it, not the 37. It's just a little bit short, but I'm guessing that's because I'm at the heavy end. I'm 90 kilograms, and the max recommended weight for getting the performance is like 100. And a lot of where I was riding, although it was flat for most of it, had loads of those steep bridges. So I was doing many inclines. So I'm guessing, and they were steep, they were like at the 30% mark. So I'm guessing if you'd ridden it in just low, medium or high, rather than like the high plus and high I was riding it in, and going over all those inclines, you'd probably get more than the 37 actually. But even at 33.4, the range is incredible. So let me know in the comments down below what you thought of the board. It's pretty slick, right? And thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.